Welcome back to Hobby Jogger Elite, and welcome to Marathon Peak Week, where we will be going as deep in the well as we have so far this marathon training block this week. It is currently early Wednesday morning, still dark out, about to get outside for one of the last very long midweek speed work sessions. Already got in an 11-mile steady run on Monday, and then 8-mile morning easy run yesterday with a 4-mile afternoon double. So 23 miles in the legs so far. About to get outside for our Wednesday workout, so let's get to it. Definitely feel like when the weather does turn here in the Northeast and Pennsylvania this time of year, it always does so quickly. It feels like there are 62, 65 degree Fahrenheit mornings, and then all of a sudden it's 42 degrees in the morning like it is this morning. It's just usually a very quick drop off and then some ebbs and flows. So these colder mornings, everything, all the muscles feel a bit creakier, a bit tighter, which I guess actually plays well into some of these longer warm-up sessions for some of these workouts I've been doing. Gives me a bit more time to sort of ease into things, get properly warm. So speaking of which, today's workout, we have 3 by a mile, 3 by a K, and 3 by 400. So I believe 4 or 5 mile warm-up before the actual work section, and then depending on that, 3 or 4 miles of cool down afterwards. So in terms of sheer volume, and I would say intensity paired with volume, doesn't feel like the most robust workout I've done when it comes to these midweek workouts in this training plan, but still some good speed work. Solid workout coming up during the long run later this week. Just about 4 miles for the warm-up section. About to get in first mile repeat. Definitely feeling the fatigue this morning, but the first 3 reps, the 3 mile repeats, are done. Closed out rep 1 in 6:01, I think. Rep 2 was 5:56, and rep 3 was 5:55. So felt good to get those. We have 3 kilometer repeats coming up. I don't want to put the absolute pedal to the metal here, but the goal is to just run them at a faster pace than I did the mile repeats. So if we can target somewhere mid to low 3:30 per K range, I'll be happy with that. Oh, we are not sharp today, boys. Still ran those faster than the mile repeats, but still just kind of lacking that sharpness, that edge, that oomph for some of these reps that are shorter. So I came through the 3Ks in 3:31, 3:34, and 3:34. I just definitely feel a bit fatigued right now. I didn't get great sleep night before last night, and they say that you usually don't feel the most recent night's poor quality of sleep, but rather the one 2 nights ago. So I felt fine yesterday. Do not feel tip-top shape today, but we're through the first 6 reps, and all I have left are 3 400s. So try to finish this out strong. Again, I'm not trying to force anything that makes my mechanics go out the window or my form. So hopefully these are at least adequate to finish this off. All right, 3 400 meter reps are done. Went through in, I think it was 80 or 81 seconds for the first one, 79 seconds for the second, and then sun blinded me a little bit as I was running uphill for the third and came through in I think 81 seconds again. So pretty consistent there on the back end. definitely felt stronger. Felt like the stride was better on those 400s. Felt like I was finally starting to get some energy, loosened up a little bit. So nothing says marathon peak week like only feeling good 10 miles into the workout. So we are pretty much right at 11 miles at the moment. Gonna cool down another 3 to get to 14 on the day. And yeah, that is the peak week workout Wednesday in the books. Good morning. It is very early right now, 4:56 a.m. So we are just doing some of the prep for the long run, and that's just a fancy way of saying that I just ate breakfast already, which was 3 pieces of toast, particularly white bread, no fiber, no nothing. It's been working great, sticking to the basics. Did a fair bit of peanut butter on each piece of toast along with a lot of honey. And then I am also knocking back about 20 ounces, which I'm a good way through now, of 2 servings of Tailwind electrolytes and carbs. We are getting the fuel in right now. This is going to be pretty much a carbon copy of what I'm doing on race day. And the plan on race day is to have this breakfast and have a gel like at the start line or right before I get to the start line, so that I have about like 150 grams of carbs in my system before I even begin to run. So testing all that out. Did a mini carb load yesterday, did about probably 550 grams to 600 grams of carbs throughout the day yesterday, just to see how my body sort of reacts to that. Kind of did that last week, felt absolutely amazing on the long run. And then for long run fuel, sticking with the Huma Plus gels. They've been, sitting in the stomach really well, seem to be doing the job. And then last week I tested out, like I said, Scratch super high carb. I did, I think 3/4 of a serving of it last time. I'm gonna try the full serving of it this time, which again is absolutely insane. It has 400 calories, 100 grams of carbs in a single serving, along with a pretty decent amount of sodium. Not quite as much electrolytes when it comes to the electrolyte profile of this as Tailwind, which is really the only drawback in comparison. But yeah, gonna carry a 20-ounce handheld full of that, see how that treats me over the course of this long run. And yeah, long run should be a good one. This peak workout, I'm gonna do either 22 or 23 miles. And it's actually not a Daniel's prescribed workout, which is first or second time this whole plan that I have deviated from the long run workouts. The prescription was just a basic steady long run, and that's not all that fun to me. So instead I'm going to do, I think it's considered like a Canova style workout, where it is warm up followed by 6K at like marathon effort, a K float, 5K at marathonish effort, a K float, 4K marathonish effort, a K float, so on and so forth, down to 3, 2, and 1K. But the idea after, I think the 4K is to get a little bit faster with the reps, and hopefully that final K rep is like way faster than marathon pace, as long as I have that type of energy in my legs by the very end. And my intention is to warm up like 4 or 5 miles, so I should be beyond 20 miles by the time I'm doing the final rep, just to sort of simulate what it feels like to run fast after mile 20, which I don't do a ton in workouts, which I probably need to do more. So that's why I'm doing that. Looking forward to it. Getting down some coffee now so that we can get this whole, process going. And yeah, feel nice and ready to go by the time we get to the long run. So we are underway with the warm up. Left my house. Conditions were very calm, almost serene, pretty much perfect. I arrive at the running spot. It's currently drizzling. The wind has picked up like crazy, and sort of seeing that the pattern continues of adverse running conditions for every long run I've done for pretty much the past month and a half, 2 months. So at least we're consistent there, and continue to run into this headwind. Hopefully we get a tailwind on the way back for the out and back. That's really all we can hope for, because things are not perfect, but today is really just about getting one last pretty big long run effort in, on top of solidifying sort of race kit preferences as well as the fueling plan for the race. So I'm going to be practicing all that while working hard, going far, on top of the usual race day preparation. I also brought out the Alpha Flies for today's run, because a sort of unintended consequence of always saving these for race day is that I've never really, at least in my mind, truly gotten fully acclimated and fully used to running in them. And I think a big part of being as comfortable as possible in a shoe is knowing what it feels like to run in them as much as possible and at a variety of speeds. So that's sort of why I brought them out today. On top of that, looks like there are some really cool race shoes coming out in the next year. I have a fresh pair of Alpha Fly ones that have been sitting in my closet for about a year, so I figure I got both of these pairs on a very steep discount. Cool shoes I want to try out in the future. What am I really saving these for at this point? You know, at this rate, I'll still be racing in my other never before worn Alpha Fly ones by the time like the 4th version comes out. So may as well use them to my advantage. So that's why I'm putting a really long effort, a lot of miles into them today, just to make sure that this might be a good choice for race day like they were last year. If not, I'll probably rock the Endorphin Pro 3s. Wind has definitely picked up quite a bit, but we are officially in the first marathon effort section. So 5 miles of warm-up is done. We're now doing 6K marathon effort until we get to a K float, pretty much descend down the kilometer ladder. So yeah, just working through some marathon effort right now, getting the feel in. Feeling decent so far. All right, we are in the second section, 5K. Still like marathonish effort. I don't want to do a crazy cut down per work section, but at least even if it's just a few seconds per mile faster. So did the 6K at, I think it was like 6:36 a mile, floated the K recovery at like 7:15 a mile. So yeah, now doing the 5K marathon effort, moving right along. All right, 5K done in 20 minutes, 15 seconds, so 6:32 a mile, about 4:03, 4:04 per kilometer. So we have another kilometer float here until we have 4K at marathon effort. I'm gonna continue to keep the marathon efforts in check, nice and conservative, so that by the time I get to the 3K, 2K, 1K sections, I can push a little bit more. So that's the plan. Feeling good so far. I'm currently on the float after the 4K section. Ran that in 16:12. So 4:03 a K, 6:32 a mile again. Felt nice, smooth, and controlled, and had the turnaround for the out and back there. So lost a good bit of momentum and still felt good keeping that steady pace. So we have about 2/3 of a K left of this float. Just aiming at this point to keep the floats honest, not necessarily try to exert myself on them, but not let myself completely jog. So right now, just clipping like 750 a mile. Probably speed up a little bit throughout the float, but yeah, from here, 3K, 2K, 1K. I'm not going to go all out, but I'm going to try to just cut down a little bit in each of these sections. So I'm going to buckle down here. We are 3 gels, about 3/4 of this into the run, almost at 16 miles. So I've managed probably about 145 carbs and about, I would say, 950 milligrams of sodium. So feeling good. Let's buckle down, finish these last miles out. 1140 for that 3K, 1140 flat. I think it was about 6:16 a mile at just over 18 miles, floating that K recovery again. Definitely started to feel the effort on that one, but we just have 2K and 1K to go. Also got down another gel in the middle of that rep. So one more gel to take at like mile 20 or mile 20 and a half. And then barely any of this left. Hopefully the stomach behaves for these last 5 miles or so. So here we go. That is absolutely insane. 22.65 miles, 2 hours, 34 minutes, 650 average pace. Winds picked up like crazy as soon as I got done. But the fact that I just averaged 650 a mile for my last training run, that's absolutely nuts. I never, not that like the average pace on a workout is really important in any way, but holy confidence booster, you know? I've never seen 650 a mile average that deep, that long into a run. Yeah, that was pretty nuts. That was everything I could have asked for a peak week workout. Those last reps, the 3K, 2K, 1K, wasn't sure what I would have left in the legs, but I'm telling you, when people preach and preach and preach about shoving as many carbs as possible into your stomach as you can handle, like it's no joke. It really does sustain you to a point that you can't really fully realize until you train your stomach and you really commit to doing that for full training block. Because, you know, by mile 20, I had 5 Huma Plus gels, which is like well over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, about 115 grams of carbs, plus another 100 grams of carbs and 400 milligrams of sodium in this. So almost 1,500 milligrams of sodium and about 200 grams of carbs for that whole 2.5 hour run. And I didn't feel queasy or sick at any point. And I felt so incredibly strong, like still on that last 1K rep to run sub 6 minute pace for that final K. But definitely, you know, still felt the effort in my legs by the end of it, especially coming back uphill on that out and back. But yeah, I'm just kind of rambling right now. What a great last big long run for the block. Still have some work at threshold and marathon pace with the workouts next week, but to get that volume of a run in and feel good from beginning to end, have some confidence restored in the alpha flies, which really saved the legs. Still felt good at the end of the run, or as good as you can really at mile 22 and beyond. So I think I'm going to stick with them, pull out the new pair for the race. But yeah, no complaints about that run. Fueled to a T, executed pace-wise to a T with every single rep. Feeling really fit and feeling super good, really good after that one. Good morning and happy Sunday to all of those out here. We are officially 3 weeks to the day away from the big dance, the marathon. So just one day after that big long run workout from yesterday, feeling pretty good. I was pretty much on my feet all day after that long run workout yesterday. Went to the Renaissance Fair with my fiance and some friends. Ate some massive turkey legs and pretty much every other food offering they had there. But yeah, long day, not too late of a night. Let myself sleep into 6:30 a.m., which is big for me because I always wake up very early, go to bed pretty early, but yeah, 6:30 a.m. these days. Nice easy morning for me. So out here a little later than usual, the sun is shining. Nice crisp fall morning, but with the conclusion of today's easy run, by the time I close this loop, we will be finished with peak week. Mileage wise was, within a mile or two, I think, of my highest mileage week throughout this training block. But intensity wise, definitely felt like it was the culmination of pretty much everything and the hardest I work. And according to my Chorus app, it says that this was the highest training load I've had in a single week during this block. So hopefully we peaked at the right time here. Hopefully we have some solid training here in these next couple weeks just to sharpen things up, to recover, feel good come race day. So it's been another week from Hobby Jogger Elite, peak week of training. We will catch up next time.